Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. Today, we are doing a Playmate series, and I figured I'll get my friend, our co-host Barbara, to help me introduce it. Apparently, because from what I understand, you two have been shipped in tonight. Am I right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, Barbara,
yes,
you there?
thank goodness for this show that ironically brought us together. That is amazing. But it's so strange how I have never met you in person because you're so iconic that before the show we were talking about, what things. Candace Jordan, Miss December 1979, by the way, went to, and she never did go to the Holmby Hills Mansion for the Playmate of the Year, and that's where I thought I met you, Candace, but I met you, I believe, at the Chicago GlamourCon we just figured out in probably 2001.
Right, it's exactly right. I tried never to miss a GlamourCon because that's the only time I got a chance to see all you beautiful girls other than at parties at the mansion. So it was a real treat.
I know.
I miss them. I wish they
really
were still
was.
there.
Me too. And it just, when that digital age hit, it just kind of went down the tubes and nobody was going. But you know what? I'm doing pretty well on the online eBay business. So I still keep that going. Yeah.
It's great that there's still so many
fans
out there. I mean, they're not going to forget the Playmates, and especially now that there's really no more centerfolds. I mean, I think the ones historically in the past are now going to be even more important to the fans than ever before. At least I hope that's true. I know that I'm receiving more requests for autographs than I ever did when I was younger, which is a surprise, but it makes me very happy.
Oh, yeah, and I feel the same way. And also with Instagram and Facebook, I saw your Instagram. It's amazing, and
it's a great
fans.
way to connect with people. Right, exactly. And I was so happy when Playboy, this whole new direction that they had started to go in with the diversity and inclusivity and everything else. I thought it was just so spectacular, and I loved, and even when they did the last one where I didn't think I would like it, where they stopped having a Playmate of the Year and they made every girl a Playmate of the Year.
Yes.
I was taken aback at first, and I thought, I'm going to hate this, but then I thought, wow, what a great idea, because they all contributed in one way, shape, or form to the success of the magazine. And then the next thing I hear is that the magazine has completely gone away. So, here I thought they were doing so well. It was so disappointing.
Yeah, one disappointment after the next. What was that, Johnny?
Well, I was going to say this, not to come in, but, the only thing I didn't like about the Playmate of the Year is that it makes it just denies a lot of competition. Like, for example, what's next, the Playmate of the Decade? I mean, are you going to have, and I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that, you have a bunch of women that are beautiful, but are beautiful in different ways, though. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. But you know what I think the bottom line is, let's make more money. And that's what they were doing with that. What do you think, Candace?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that they really truly thought that each one of those girls deserved the title, and I thought the same. I thought it was a great move and a great idea. But like I said, then the next thing and then the next thing it's gone. So and I thought that they would, they're going digital, but I still like to hold a magazine or a newspaper in my hands. I'm like old school, and I certainly loved holding the Playboy magazines. Yeah, and I mean, I have so many that I saved, and I'm just so glad that I have them because like I say, they're no more. But I guess that makes us more popular, maybe.
That's what I was going to say. But I didn't mean that they were thinking of making more money this last time when they made everybody a Playmate of the Year from the last year. I meant with the magazine before. I mean, to showcase one after the full year, they have so many avenues where they can make more money. There's the videos, then more exposure. And I think it's okay because it gave everybody more exposure. It's like, look at our year. Take another look. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, me too. But
making more money is not a bad thing.
No, not for anybody. But in this day and age, it's a little harder. But we're all trying. But Anyway, it's just so good to talk to you, too. And, I mean, I have such a long history with Playboy, as I know you do. And, I mean, I think every girl has a story to tell that was a part of the magazine.
Right.
And, you know, so you have unlimited source material, Barbara.
I do. I know. Isn't that great that I came up with this idea? Thanks, Kat.
Yeah.
But I wanted to list you more things. We went into conversation, but there is so much about Candace Jordan. So this is going to be a fascinating hour to an hour and a half that I'm so excited about. You're currently a columnist for the Chicago Tribune, which is amazing. You were, yes, not just Miss December 79, which is a gala Christmas issue is a highly regarded month to be, which is fun, and I am a fellow Miss December. You are also Playboy Bunny of the Year in February 1976.
Yeah. The contest was in February, and it was for 1976, and it was a real honor. That it was, you know, why it was a great honor is because it was voted on. The finalists were voted on by the Key Club members, so it was really based on your popularity with the members at the club, which really made it kind of more special. And so there were 6 girls who were finalists, and it was a huge competition. It was all the celebrities in Chicago came out, and they had an A-list panel of judges. Harry Carey was one of the judges, and a lot of local celebrities. And, I mean, all the press was there. It was a really big deal, and it was a shock. I did not expect to win that contest at all. I had my own personal favorite, and so it made such a difference. I mean, I started doing so much more work for the magazine. I did all their Key Club ads. I had life-size posters of myself in every club in the world that Playboy had a club. And I mean, it was mind blowing, and that's kind of how I started the career with Playboy. Even though I started as a bunny in St. Louis, I did transfer to Chicago after a couple years. So I had life before Chicago as a bunny, but it really exploded when I got here.
Okay, so did you shoot your centerfold after you worked as a bunny, and if so, how many years was that before you became a centerfold?
Yeah, no, I came to Chicago in 74, and I did, you know, like I said, Bunny of the Year in 76, and then my centerfold was shot for the 79 issue. So, you know, that's a long span in between times, but I was always back and forth from the photo department because I was downstairs at the club, so I was handy, and I was photogenic, fortunately. And so any kind of a cover test they wanted to do, they'd call me to come up and shoot it. And eventually it led to, well, let's just test her for Playmate, you know, and so I did. I got the thing, and kind of the rest is history. But it was, you know, all those people there were friends of mine. I mean, the photographers were like brothers that I didn't have, and you know how that is. They were such professionals, and it's like an experience you never have again in your life. And I've been a model since I was 13, so I've worked with people across the world, and nobody was as professional as the Playboy photographers. That's for sure.
I totally agree. But I have a question about that, though. You were so involved as the Playboy Bunny. Weren't you thinking, hey, I am going to go see if I could be a centerfold? What took you so long?
No, I never had a thought in my mind about that. No, you know, it wasn't I don't know if that sounds crazy, because if you're with Playboy, obviously an air model, you want to be a centerfold, but it never was a goal of mine. It just kind of happened organically. And, you know, because like I said, I had worked so much for Playboy already, and, you know, it just shot the cover after I did the centerfold, and I mean, it just came about. It was one day, you know, come up, we're going to test you for Playmate. And so up I went, and I mean, I was very nonplussed, quite frankly, and I'm not sure why I wasn't more excited, but I mean, it just came as a matter of course to me. And I guess I wasn't a bit surprised that they asked me to be a Playmate.
Well, maybe because you had been in the entertainment business, modeling at such a young age. That was your life. I mean, your life existed in entertainment and just like pizzazz and, you know, around these people.
And I have been successful since I was young. I mean, I started in St. Louis, and I was one of the youngest people to appear in ads for Famous Bar, this department store. And, you know, so I had a lot of success beforehand, and I loved modeling, and I never stopped. Even when I was a bunny, I still was registered with all the agencies. and I still am now. And so it's been a long history on both counts. But Playboy is the one that mattered the most and still matters the most because it has the best memories.
Oh yeah, and I mean, so iconic. It's not. I don't think there's anybody who has not heard of Playboy around the world. So it's just such a valuable thing. It's special.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's a perfect thing to have on your resume. You're a lucky girl to be able to put that on your resume.
Oh yeah, you are. I mean, there's only 12 a year, and it hasn't been around too long. Wow.
Nope, not that long.
I think it is amazing to talk to somebody who was in the Chicago area during all of that, because I've been to the Chicago studios to shoot, but I never did get to see that Playboy mansion in Chicago, but I've seen film on it and pictures, and it looked like so amazing. What was that like, going to that?
Well, when I was a bunny
in Dark there?
No, that was way before my time. That was in the 50s, 60s. I didn't get to Playboy until the 70s. But when I was in St. Louis, when I was in St. Louis, I had shot a Best Bunnies pictorial. David Chan, the late, great David Chan, shot the pictorial, this layout. And shortly after that, I was invited to transfer to the Chicago Club. And, of course, I jumped at the chance because, what kind of an opportunity is that? And they said yes, and to move into the Playboy Mansion. Now, there was very few girls allowed or invited to live there, and I was so thrilled to be one of them. And so I moved into the mansion in '74, and that's when Huff was still in residence there. I feel like the 70s to me was the golden age of Playboy. I mean, the Rolling Stones were there, and any celebrity that came through town wanted to be there for the parties. And we were always invited, and the mansion itself is the most spectacular place. Hefner had exquisite taste. He was a real traditionalist. So this house has got all this dark polished wood and these beautiful, marble floors and beautiful carved busts, and obviously it had the fireman's pole to go down to the grotto where it was an underground swimming pool, and he had a bowling alley in the building, and all these things, and you could order room service 24 hours a day from the butlers. I mean, it would cost $50 a month to live there. So it was.
How many playmates would be living there at a time?
Well, it was bunnies. They weren't not necessarily all playmates. I would say there was probably about 15 at a time living there. Wow. I'm wondering if she knows Sandra Costa. I am really good friends with her, and she was a bunny around your time, but in Miami. And we just interviewed her, and she didn't become a playmate, though. But I let her squeak into the Playboy Playmate series, just like my one exception, because, but it's amazing, the whole bunny life. So, it's a completely different lifestyle. I mean, it's, and if you're a bunny, were you a bunny, Barbara, by any chance?
I was a bunny for events, but no clubs. I mean, there were none open during my era.
That's a promotional. Yeah, no, I'm talking about real bunny playmates. I mean, there's not very many of us out there that did both and worked at both ends of it. So, I don't know Sandra, but I did know a girl who was, because when the Bunny of the Year contest was held, it was an international pageant that was held in L.A. And it was televised on ABC. So every winner from every club came to compete. I was first runner-up in the end. I did not win. There was a girl from Phoenix, Barbara, somebody from Phoenix won, but there was a beautiful Bunny of the Year from Miami that had blonde hair. I can't remember her name, but it wasn't Sandra, so I don't think I would have met her. Okay, just curious. So are you affiliated with the bunnies that get together? There's a group of them for reunions. I know there's one out here. In Chicago. There's one in Chicago in August. Yeah, I'm helping plan it, as a matter of fact, and so they have a huge response so far. So it's they had to move it. It was supposed to be the end of July, but now or end of June, and so because of the COVID, they had to change it to August. But yeah, we're still having it here at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. You should come. That'll be wonderful. Okay. Yeah, it's open for anybody associated with Playboy. It could be playmates, bunnies, people that worked at the clubs. Yeah, it's the August 13th through the 16th, I believe.
Knew your birthday,
Okay,
Barbara.
wow. Right before my birthday, August 21st. Well, thank you for the invite, though. But we could help.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go out on Lake Michigan. We're going to do some yachting and a lot of partying.
Yachting.
So
I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay, yachting. Oh, I like that.
Lots of fun plans.
I'd like to see when there is a Playboy Playmate which are all of them so far that we have interviewed, are doing so well and have such longevity in their career. You're still modeling. You are so gorgeous. I love your look. And even before Johnny had found you to bring you on our show, I have always admired you. I was looking at your Instagram. I already had been following you. Yes, I already was following you on Instagram. Thank you. And because I'll tell you why. I can see it. It's the class. It's, you don't even have to meet the person. You look at them. You have such class and such style and grace and this.
Oh God, thank you, Barbara. God, I wish if we lived closer, we'd be lunching every day together.
I would. I definitely would. And your hairstyle. I mean, you're just so stylish and elegant. And I just thought this woman, whoever is married to this woman, is a very lucky man.
Well, I'm the lucky one.
Married, aren't you?
Yeah, 30 years now. 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh wow! It's just like you still talk so nicely. That's wonderful.
Oh no, I'm definitely very lucky. Yeah, I would die without him. Let's just put it that way. So.
Oh, how wonderful! I mean, your life is just so full and.
Yeah, it's so full. I'm so blessed, really. Barbara. I thank God every day. Yeah, no, it's just I have to pinch myself. I just have to pinch myself. It's been a really the memories that I've made and the things that I've been able to do. It's just and I'm involved with the nonprofit community here through my column, which really is very fulfilling because I get to kind of shine a spotlight on charities that are helping other people. So I'm kind of fulfilled in every single way, and it's just I feel like I've been heaped with blessings.
That is wonderful, and it just keeps coming because I recently saw where Playboy was redoing just only a handful of covers, and yours was one of them.
Yeah, well, they did that 3 years ago for 6 girls, and I was one of them.
Renee Tennyson was another one of them.
Yeah, Renee.
Yeah, Renee Tennyson.
Yeah, we got her on.
And Kimberly Conrad, Cooper's mother, was another one that he asked her to participate. So it was a really great mix of girls. And then recently to have them, all of us, invited back 5 decades of Playmates for the last issue, for the feature, and the equality issue was it was mind numbing. So that was a rare invitation. Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
I want to get that cover.
Yeah. I remember.
Wait, Johnny. One more thing. She might have a way for the listeners to find that cover redo. If we want to see all of those, that's okay. If we want to see all those, how do we find them?
You can definitely get, I think, more issues of that equality issue online at Playboy.com. I still think there's some available. If I haven't bought them all, I think there's still some available.
Okay.
I know. You have to nowadays because Huff passed away, and you don't just get my subscription was just ended because when Huff died, and that was a promise to us that we get a lifetime subscription. I guess that meant his lifetime.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
I wanted to ask.
So you did those Playboy hold on, one more question about the cover thing, and then Johnny, please. I am enthralled with this the cover redo because when I saw it, I thought it was fake. I did. I saw it on social media, and I thought, are they superimposing the heads on bodies? I mean, you guys.
No, it was 5 decades
How
of
many
Playmates.
years later was this?
No, we just shot this last year and a half. It's a very the issue is the second to last magazine that they ever published. So it was the one before the last one, and it was a 12-page cover feature.
Are in it? Okay,
Pardon
all the girls that they redid all of the Playmates that they redid.
No,
covers
these were different girls. These were different girls. The cover remakes were with like I said, Renee Tennyson, Kimberly Conrad, I can't remember the other three girls.
Victoria Valentino.
Kathy St. George, maybe?
No. Kathy St. George was one, yes. And, I can't remember. But for the recent, magazine feature, that was Victoria Valentino, Brandy Roderick, myself, Raquel Pomplin, let's see, Brandy Roderick. So how many is that? 5? That's 5, I think. There's 5 Playmates because it represented 5 decades of Playmates.
Yes. Wow. And so it just keeps coming. Johnny, I can never hear you. That's why every time you talk, I cannot even hear you, and I've never had this problem.
Sorry about that. Okay.
There, that's better. Now, please ask your question finally. Sorry about that, Johnny.
Okay, yeah. Well, Victoria Valentino is a lady that we've had on, not for the series, but we've had her on. And when you mentioned the 5, and I remember talking to her because I was trying to get her on for doing the series, and she mentioned something like that. Mm-hmm. And that's why when you were talking about that, I sort of figured that maybe you had ran into Victoria Valentino. And according to her, this is another story, she's apparently adopted Devin Vasquez.
She's adopted her. Oh, yes. Well, I don't know about that, but I know that the experience that I had, it was shot, the feature was shot in Esther Williams' old house in Burbank, California. And it was a huge crew.
Neat.
I mean, it was a very big photo shoot. They had a fabulous photographer who was a Vogue contributing photographer. I can't remember her name now either. I'm blanking. I don't know why. But it was quite an experience, and it was a beautiful feature. I mean, it was something that they'd never done before, and so it was
I'm going to go to
Forbes
Playmates.com.
Pardon me?
Playmates.com. I'm going to go to Playmates.com while we speak, and I bet it's on there.
Oh, yeah.
Or not, Playboy.com, because I have a free membership. I don't know if you have that or not, but I called. I mean, I'm tired of not getting things for free from Playboy, and I talked to the people over there, and I said, I'm a Playmate. Can't I mean, just give me a password, please. And they did. So,
yeah, good.
And I collected all my photos because I need to have photos that I could reproduce and sell to my fans. And, they send me tons of them, and that's what they do. So
Right,
I have
exactly.
That Yes. So I'm going to go on there and see if they're featuring that on there. I'm excited to see. But,
5 Playmates.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, it was fabulous.
And that was the second to the last issue. Right. It's
called the Equality Issue. And
I like it.
I mean, it had world press. It was in Forbes, Daily Mail TV, Fox News, PBS, on and on and on. It got just incredible press. That
is amazing. Always they do. They always have just so many photographers. That was big news anytime Playboy did something. So, but Candace, were you sad when Huff decided to move to Beverly Hills and leave Chicago?
Not at all. No, because at the time he was being hounded by the government here and the corrupt politicians in Chicago who were trying to, peg him as a pornographer. I mean, they went to the point they hounded his personal assistant, Bobby Arnstein, until she committed suicide because they were trying to pin some kind of a lame drug bust or something on Hefner, which was wildly inappropriate, but it was the only way they could think of to nab him. And he was just so fed up with fighting these courts and these issues that he was really ready to get out of town, and I don't blame him whatsoever. And actually his timing couldn't have been better because it worked out so well for him. It was like a whole new life for Playboy once he went to L.A., so it was time.
With Barbie Benton, and she was a doll. She was so
she's
cute.
the one that found the mansion in L.A. for him.
That's what I read too. Wow, and that's pretty cool. I mean, she was just so sweet, and but I wanted to ask you, why do you think that Huff? I mean, there was this very special women in his life that he never actually made them Playmate. I don't even know the backstory. Maybe they didn't want to be a Playmate, but if you're going to pose nude, wouldn't you want to just have your month and year that you have forever?
Who would that have been? Who are you referring to?
Like Barbie Benton. Barbie Benton.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure why, but I mean, there's other girls that were not. All the girls next door, none of those were centerfolds. They were his girlfriends, and they obviously were in a lot of pictorials, but they were never in the magazine. I don't know why. I mean, I would like to think that it was because it would be too much nepotism, that he would think that, since he's dating him, it would look like he's putting his girlfriends in the issue. But, on the other hand, he did put many of his girlfriends in the magazine, like, Kimberly Conrad at Case in Point, who he married. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that is. That's a good question. But Barbie was a doll, and I know they remained friendly until the end of his life.
Yes, she was so sweet. I knew who she was before I knew who Hugh Hefner was. When I was 5, I used to watch Hee Haw with my dad, and I thought she was the prettiest thing. I loved her. When I met her at the Playboy Mansion in like 2007, I remember because I was pregnant at the time, and I was so excited to meet her, and I said, I knew who you were before I knew who Hef was, and she was laughing. She thought that was fun.
She would have loved that, I guess, for sure. Yeah, she was a doll. Yeah, no question.
Oh, wow. Was Johnny trying to say something? I've had a hard time hearing in this whole...
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. Well, okay, I am so sorry that I asked you about the Playboy After Dark. I knew full well that you were
no
70s,
problem.
80s.
I mean, no,
I just
watched
didn't know
it
when
in
that
reruns.
show ever stopped.
Yeah, no,
right.
It was always in reruns, and I mean, Hefner was so ahead of his time. He had some of the greatest entertainers on there before they ever hit it big. I mean, it was just like the same as with the magazine. He had all these famous writers with their first stories in the magazine, like Ray Bradbury and Ian Fleming. I mean, they wrote for Playboy before they ever published, and I mean, he was so ahead of his time in so many different ways. It was just, I mean, his legacy's yet to be told, I think.
Yes, me too. And then also he had on Playboy After Dark the musicians like Sammy Davis Jr., black musicians. He didn't even see color at all when
never.
The world was extremely racist. Yeah, so that was wonderful. Exactly. And he inspired so many. I was going to ask him, did he inspire you to start writing?
No. I love to write from as long ago as I can remember. I mean, I've always been a diarist and then a blogger and then this and that, and I write for Chicago Now, and I've written for other magazines, and then that's kind of how I got to the Tribune. But no, I love to write, and I have a blog, CandidCandace.com. I hope you're a subscriber. It's all free, but I write a lot of good stuff there, and I write a lot of stuff about Playboy and my memories too, and so it's a good platform for me to get all my information that I want to get out.
Oh, yes, and the platform of Instagram, too, I feel that later on in a model's career is amazing to have, to where you can showcase basically all of your body of work right there in one place. Yeah. Yes.
And it's Candid Candace if anybody wants to follow me. It's not Candace Jordan on Instagram. It's Candid Candace. So thank you for letting me plug in, Barbara.
Candace? Yes.
Candid Candace, yes.
Candace. Because I read it too fast in the beginning, and I thought it was Candace, but it's not. But that would have been cute,
no, Candid Candace.
Candid.
And that's
Candace.
The name of my Tribune column as well, Candid Candace. So
I saw that, and you have a website too. Tell us what your website is. That's
Candid Candace. It's all Candid Candace. My Facebook page, my blog, my Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I mean, that's where you can find me. Candace Jordan or Candid Candace. Yeah.
Okay, and then your column, how often does that come out?
Well, my column used to come out every Sunday, but now with the COVID crisis, the events that I would have covered obviously have been canceled, and it's really putting a huge hole, and it's causing a lot of harm to the nonprofit community, and quite frankly, I really miss not being out there covering it. I'm very social, and I love being out. Thank God my husband feels the same, but we were out probably at an event like 3 or 4 nights a week before, and now I'm like homebound like everybody else, which is really kind of killing me. But and they're not coming back this fall. I mean, nobody has rescheduled. Everybody's having virtual events, which is not something that's coverable in a newspaper. So, I don't know when it's going to come back, but I hope it'll be in the fall.
I hope so too. And I've had things that were canceled the first month, and then they pushed them back a few months later. They were all pushed back to June, and now they're pushed back to October. So, well, I guess we have something to look forward to, because when it does open, I mean, it's going to be crazy, and there's going to be
it's going to be crazy. Oh, the restaurants here opened up 3 days ago, and I am telling you, Barbara, it was like Mardi Gras. I mean, people just were dying to get out of their houses, as you can imagine, and actually it was a lot of fun. But, I think we are more than ready to get back to normal here.
Oh, I was saying the same thing on the show the other day, wasn't I, Johnny? I was like, some people just want it. Please don't judge us, the ones that want to get back to life.
Right. No, right. I mean,
no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. We went up to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin before the restaurants and everything opened up in Chicago, and I am telling you, I was shamed on Facebook like you can't imagine, just because we got out of town. I mean, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The backlash, if you try to make yourself happy, is astounding.
That's what I say, and I was just thinking, well, I'm out here having fun, but I guess maybe I should think twice about posting it, because people are going to judge me. That's why I made a point on the show that last Friday. Do not judge people.
Yeah.
It's time to just let them do what they want to do. If you aren't comfortable, then you can stay home. And wear
it's the truth, and and we're wearing our masks, so it's not like we're spreading germs. It's not like we're all out there, being maniacs and stupid. I mean, we certainly have common sense and know what the protocols are. So I took offense at that, and so some people got blocked from my Facebook page.
Good, and I take offense.
Let's just put it that way
to you as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And please stop judging people. Again,
no.
It's announcement time. Do you have a question,
so,
Johnny?
Barbara,
I heard your voice. Yes.
I didn't say anything.
Barbara, I have a question for you. Now, I did a little of my own research on you, and I read that you were a ballroom dance champion.
Yes.
Are you still dancing?
You.
Are you still dancing?
I would like to take this opportunity to say I am looking for a partner who wants the same things that I want. And, it's so sad when you have a passion for something that you need another person to do it the way it's supposed to be done. But I do, and I don't have it. I did move here a year ago. I want somebody that I could just, practice really hard, intricate techniques, and I want to practice my patterns, and I want to just exercise and dance on the dance ballroom floor, but I also want to have fun and go out dancing socially, and I also want to conquer a new style of dance. I want all those things, Candace, and I was thinking about it so much last couple of days, like, Barbara, who are you? Get out there and find that partner. And I thought, hey, I've got a great platform here. Why not start to interview people?
Well, I think you've started really well here announcing this on your show. But, we talked a little bit before we went live, and I mentioned to you that Patty Connors, a fellow Playmate and Playmate of the Year in 1977, also has a passion for ballroom dancing, and I think you two should hook up.
Now, do you know how to get a hold of Patty Connors?
We should interview her.
Yeah, I mean, she's spectacular, and I love her so much. She's one in a million.
Okay, so you're friends with Patty Connors?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get her.
Okay,
let's have her coming up soon for the Playboy the Playboy Playmate series. Definitely, I'm going to have a lot of. I just want.
Have you talked to Kathy St. George too?
Out.
Have you talked to Kathy St. Oh, she is a live wire. She's one of my favorite Playmates. I am telling you, we have had the best times together. She makes you laugh until you cry. Yeah, so you should definitely have her on your show.
I used to be super close with her. Yes, and then
where did you know her from?
And then I knew her because I actually did a lot of Playboy promotions with her, and she did my makeup too for shoots. Did you know she started out as a makeup artist for Playboy?
Oh yeah, she's a fabulous makeup artist. Yeah, definitely.
She did
my God,
makeup day for me.
She's got the biggest heart.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, she is.
I love her too.
Alexis
I know her.
Vogel. Did you ever work with Alexis Vogel?
Who?
Alexis Vogel.
Alexis Vogel. She was probably not Johnny, because she was the makeup artist over in Beverly Hills, more in my era, and
my apologies.
Late 80s, 90s, and she passed away. And I had 8 Playmates on this show, and I handled it, and people actually could hear them.
What
it was
we
not
had
easy.
was what he had was we had a medium on the channel, Alexis Vogel, and I was just because one thing about our show is we do have a lot of psychics on.
I love it.
And I just think, one of the ideas that I had was to get a bunch of Playmates on to channel Hefner or somebody else related to Playboy,
Mhm.
And that was an idea that I had. And
oh wow, did it come to fruition?
Not yet.
No, we just had. No, we did it for Alexis Vogel though, and Alexis Vogel. There's a person. When there's a person out there that touches so many people's lives positively,
right?
It was so easy to get. I got 8 Playmates on our show within the hour, all calling in at different times because they loved her so much, and they.
Oh wow!
If it's for Alexis Vogel, yes. If it's for her, we're there because she was that type of person, and it just made your whole Playboy experience. If you were there when she was the makeup artist in Beverly Hills, it made your experience. It's that much better. Yes.
I would chime in by saying this is what I always hear about Hugh Hefner. It's like Hugh Hefner was sort of, I don't know what the adjective is, but I mean I always thought it was like if somebody, like say there was a Playmate that was probably lost on the side of the road at 2:00 in the morning and that she couldn't start her car or something, like Hugh Hefner seems like the kind of guy that would get somebody out there and
100%. You're 100% right. I can't tell you, Johnny, how many stories that I heard at the mansion about girls, Playmates in trouble. They didn't have any money. They couldn't bury their mother or their father, or they had, financial difficulties, that he would send a check off without any questions asked to so many of these girls to try to help them. I mean, these are stories that people don't hear about, but he had a heart like as big as all outdoors, and he really revered the Playmates and looked at them as like his whole family. And, one of the things that I love the most about him is that he always said, in press conferences and stuff, and they'd say, oh, well, former Playmate so-and-so, and he'd say, never. Once a Playmate, always a Playmate. And that was the title of this feature, was Once a Playmate, Always a Playmate, that I just did in this last issue.
It's funny because I was, reading something that to Barbara about a Playmate, and it says here, and it said, okay, now this interview it says, and we had Terry Lynn Doss on one time. And I didn't. It took me some time to get used to it, but when I first came around, okay, here we have former, and then she immediately started laughing, and it was like, God, I was. Really,
I said, Johnny, has somebody else taken my month and year? I mean, did December in 1992 just disappear, and I'm gone with it? I mean, so see, and then people realize, okay, your title, you're a Playmate. Not former, okay? Yep. When did my Playboy Playmate title just disappear? I mean, I still am signing my autograph. So, it is somewhat offensive, actually, when people say that. Or when they say ex-Playmate. That really bugs me.
Oh, so, definitely, 100%. But, boy, he wouldn't have any of it, and he was a real champion for the girls. And, that was just one of many things I loved about him.
Did you date him?
No, I didn't. No, when I moved into the mansion in Chicago, he was dating 2 girls. He was dating Karen Christie, and he was also dating Barbie Benton. So I was dating somebody at the time too. He really wasn't my type. I really loved him as a person, and I think he respected me and liked me a lot too. But it wasn't that kind of a situation ever.
Right.
So,
me neither.
No. Yeah.
It's so funny because
but
years later,
what is horrible is that
am.
These people think that if you're a Playmate that you automatically slept with Hefner. I mean, there's so many people that think that, and I think it's just horrifying.
Well, believe me, I set them straight a lot on this show. I do. But yes, we got that question.
But it's too bad that you have to defend yourself like that. I mean, it's kind of an ignorant way to think, quite frankly.
Well, not only I want to say something else. This is something that I do with Barbara a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, did you ever see the movie Something About Mary?
No.
Okay, it stars Cameron Diaz, and it's about this lady, and she basically is a Ben Stiller. She falls in love with her, but the thing is that in the movie, this Mary character is really, 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 really beautiful, but also really, 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 really sweet and really, really smart.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that I've noticed this in movies, that what they do is whenever there's a character that is really, really beautiful, she is shown to prove a point that it's what's inside that counts, which means she's always portrayed as not having much of a personality and being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've noticed this or not. That's why Barbara, it's like is as both. I mean, she's beautiful, she's smart. So I sort of compare her to something about Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
that. And it is true. It's just like that's what they do. If you're very, very beautiful, okay, all right, well, there must not be anything upstairs or something,
Yeah,
you
but
know
not
what
at Playboy. Yeah,
yeah,
but not
no.
at Playboy. And also Johnny thought that the Playmates bicker and argue and are jealous of each other, and I've never seen that in my entire life.
It's the absolute opposite. It's like a sorority that I never had before. I mean, it's the best group of sisters. I'm an only child, so when I first became involved with Playboy and all those girls, I mean, I was absolutely in heaven. I mean, I'm lifelong friends with almost every single girl that I've met at Playboy that were involved with the organization. So, I mean, it's true what they say about the girls next door, because they really were girls next door. They were small town. They were, like Johnny said, they were sweet personalities. They were smart. They had common sense. I mean, I can't say enough about the family with Playboy.
I know. So Huff did such an amazing job, because I tell people it's not just your outer beauty. He had some time to get to know you before he made his decision, and your personality, the good inside of you, really meant a lot to him. And look at what he created.
Mattered as much,
and
I think, as looking good.
Yes, and because he also was thinking, these ladies are going to be representing my company, and
right,
so
they're going to be out there in the
him.
world, right? Exactly, he was very smart.
Yes, but when you became a Playmate, and then the way you were treated, that you were beautiful on the inside too, and smart and intelligent, and they expected the best out of you. You wanted to be your best self. It was
and they
about
protected the girls. They did. They did such an incredible job. I mean, look at all the security guards they have at these mansion parties, and even in the clubs when I worked there, they had security guards stationed everywhere. And if a customer so much as just touched a girl, his key was revoked for life, and he was thrown out of the Playboy Club. I mean, this guy wasn't playing, and he put his money where his mouth is, and you always felt so safe being a part of that world.
So safe. And then when they stopped doing the parties, that's when they stopped doing a couple of the parties during the day, like the Easter party that he would do in Beverly Hills for the Playmates who had children, which, hey, that's part of life.
That was so
we become
sweet,
mothers, and he cared. He cared so much about that. And then when that was, after my daughter was 9, that was the last year that she was able to go up there, that they were doing it, because he got too sick to come out and elderly. And so that's when you realize, wow, I really was part of something so special. And even Priscilla, my daughter, is like, Mom, that is sad that the whole Playboy, all of the mansion stuff is over.
Yeah.
And she felt it just a smidgen, but that was such a big part of our lives.
Oh, for sure. Well,
him.
listen, here, I love the fact that, I mean, Sandra Theodore, who was his girlfriend for the longest time, didn't he even throw her a wedding shower and let her get married on the property? I mean, talk about being a gentleman.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept his friendships with all those girls, even if they were his girlfriends. I mean, they were always friends no matter what. So, I mean, that says a lot about his character.
Her wedding. Kendra got married at the Wishing Well.
Kendra that's
Wilkinson,
right. Kendra, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes.
So he had quite a big heart.
Oh, he did. And all those years in an arena that is very highly sexually charged, not porn, but nudity, all of that, and never one complaint or charge against Hugh Hefner ever.
No,
that's
right.
amazing.
All those years, exactly. I know. And then you even had Cosby floating around all these parties.
I know. That came to my mind too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Bill Cosby was always a fixture at the Chicago Playboy Mansion, and I never heard anything about anything that he did. But obviously, he was a snake in the grass. But I mean, just it's odd when you think back about all those people that he was friends with. But who knew what was going on behind closed doors?
I never ran across him, but he was at the Beverly Hills Mansion too. But I never did.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Oh.
And Kevin Spacey was up there too. He wasn't.
Oh, that's
with
right.
girls,
yeah,
so.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah. Well, listen, every celebrity on the planet wanted to be there, so it's not surprising that they were there.
Did Elvis ever come there?
I don't remember Elvis. Well, he was there. I know for a fact he was at the mansion, but I never saw him, obviously. But I know he was there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, how long were you a Playboy Playmate, Playboy Bunny until you started to settle down, got married, and do you have children?
Oh, let's see. So I was a bunny from probably 73 to 77, 78, and I got married in 1989. So.
Okay.
There was a long stretch there. I lived in New York for a while. I was registered with Wilhelmina. I had a billboard in Times Square. I worked in Spain and I worked in Italy, and I really kind of went off and did my own thing. I was in Risky Business with Tom Cruise. I was in Smokey and the Bandit with Burt Reynolds, and so I had a lot of work in between the time until I met my husband.
Wow. Okay, so February 1976, and you were Bunny of the Year. How does your husband feel about everything? Does he just think he has this wonderful prize and a wife?
Oh, he's so proud of me. I'm telling you, Barbara, he's my biggest fan, and I'm, of course, his biggest fan. But, I mean, he used to, when the Glamour Cons were here, he would go out there and spend the whole day with me and drive me there, drive me back. And, I mean, he's just, and Hefner always included him in all the invitations to the mansion parties, which was fabulous and special. And so, we'd make a big trip out of flying to L.A. and going to the parties and visiting with friends. And, I mean, he really admired Hefner. And Hefner was very kind to my husband. So Chuck has got as much of a fondness for Playboy as I do. And, so Hefner was class act all the way.
What does Chuck do? Are you known as a socialite couple in Chicago?
He's retired from the ad business. He owned an advertising agency, JTC Advertising in Chicago. And he's retired.
Is that how you met him, through the business?
No, I met him actually through a friend. No, just a friend of mine that introduced me to him in a bar for lunch one day, and we kind of hit it off.
Said, "Hey, I think that you guys would hit it off," and you did.
Well, my friend had specifically told me that I was not going to meet anybody going to bars at night and staying out until 2:00 in the morning. So he said he wanted to take me to lunch one day and introduce him to some really nice men, and my husband was one of the men that he wanted to introduce me to. And so after we met, we got married within 6 months.
Oh, I love those stories. And do you have children?
No, we don't have children. We have a Chihuahua. No.
Okay.
No, we have a Chihuahua. Yes, he's our child.
Well,
and we travel a lot. When we first got married, we traveled a lot, and I don't think you can really do that if you have children. So we kind of,
and your whole life changes, and it never goes back. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. No, I have not regretted not having children. No, I'm very happy having that. My family the way it is. So.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of girlfriends that have actually chosen that way to go. A lot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I have a lot of girlfriends. Anymore. No, not a bit.
And because when I look at your photos, it's like you're going, and you look like a socialite couple, and ads and this column coming out, and you're always smiling. It looks like you are an ad. But you were a high fashion model then. If you were with Wilhelmina and modeling in Italy.
No, I did commercials, I did movies, I did runway. I'm 5'7.5". I'm not tall. I'm not a bit tall, but I have a personality. I kind of sold myself for the runway work.
You are good. And isn't that what how they would judge you for the Bunny of the Year. About
it was like a regular beauty pageant. You know, you had to come out in an evening outfit, and then you had to wear your bunny costume, and then they had a Q&A where you had to answer these questions. And I mean, it was a real pageant, and I still have my trophies, and it was a really heady time for sure.
Well, tell me about the costumes. Do you still have your costumes? And
oh my God, I have my
favorite?
Yes. No, I have the Silver Bunny of the Year costume, which is it was featured on the Antiques Roadshow about 4 years ago, and the girl said that she had never seen one like it, and I had everything with it. I had the cuffs, I even had my nylons, the shoes, the ears, all the hardware that went with it. I had the program from the Bunny of the Year pageant signed by every celebrity. O.J. Simpson, Hefner signed it. Every big star that was there had signed my program book. So I had all this memorabilia along with it, and it was estimated at around $15,000, and this was like 7 years ago, I guess, 6 years ago that it was featured. So I think it's probably worth more now.
Did you go, because I watched that show, I love that show, did you go yourself and do, oh, wow, I bet we could find that somewhere like on YouTube. That would be interesting to see.
Definitely. You could find it on YouTube. And they, for some reason, when I because they hadn't been to Chicago, the road show, in a long time. And when I heard it on PBS, I told my husband, I said, go there now to the computer and get tickets because this is going to sell out. Well, sure enough, of course, it did sell out. But after I got the tickets, you have to fill in what you're going to bring to the show to be appraised. And I got a call almost immediately asking me if they could follow me through the show and feature me on the segment. So I knew that they were going to highlight the costume, which was really special because obviously Playboy started in Chicago, so it was a perfect choice for an item to be appraised in Chicago. And I think that had a lot to do with it. But it was a really terrific segment, and it was we spoke a lot about Hefner and Playboy in it.
Okay, I want to look that up. Don't you, Johnny? I would like to feature that. And I'm the administrator on the Playboy Playmate Facebook group page. I don't know if you're a part of that, but I set that up. Yeah, I mean, it was available.
I want to be a part of it. How do I get to it?
Okay, I'll send you an invite. I will do that.
Yeah.
And, it was available. I just thought I'm going to start a group off of my Playboy, off of my main page, because start a group. They say,
oh, that's a great idea.
It was available. This was a year ago.
You could have a virtual glamour con, Barbara.
I wanted to ask you something now. Do you, me and Barbara, we're also doing a Roku channel. Do you have Roku?
No. I don't even know what that is, quite frankly.
Well, we're starting me and Barbara were doing a television channel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
I
up
don't
now.
know about Roku.
We're not starting it. It's up. Well, it's up now. We're extending our podcast because we think that people should be able to see us as well as hear us. But I don't want to stop the podcast. I love radio. I mean, do you know how hard it would be for me to do my makeup and hair every day? I know. I would, but.
Yeah, no, I'm getting ready to do an Insta Live pretty soon, and I thought of putting makeup on makes my skin crawl after I've been without it for so long, so I know how you feel.
I know. Yeah, and so I love radio. It's so easy. I can do it from anywhere, and I call in. And normally I have a good connection with Johnny. I never can even hear if he's talking, and I hear a little bit, and I don't know what he's saying. And he's like, sorry, and then he goes away.
Yeah, that's okay. I will say this: the first time that Barbara came on, she loved it. She was like, "Oh, wow." It was.
No, I love radio. I had a radio show here in Chicago on Ribbit Radio, and it was fabulous. It's a whole different way to think because you use your voice more than you thought you did to convey emotions, and it's like it's completely different format, obviously, than anything that is visible. So I really loved radio. I like it better than anything else. So I don't blame you, Barbara. I agree with you.
Thank you. Yes, somebody finally sees what I see in this because I love it. I absolutely.
And you have a great voice. You have a very great voice for radio too.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure you're beautiful besides, but you have a very it's a very sexy feminine voice. It's a really nice voice for this. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I really love it. Yeah. Wow. So how long do you think you're going to work? As long as, I mean, is retirement
well, as long as I
a
can,
thought,
you know,
or,
as long as I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I have no plans to retire. I mean, I have more chapters left in me. I just don't know what's next. This COVID thing has really thrown me off my path, though, and it's discombobulated my plans, and I'm kind of, you know, in a mess right now because I don't know what I want to do now. I mean, there's nothing I don't think is going to be the same once this all goes away. I mean, there's obviously going to be so many changes, and now there's so many things that have happened in the interim that's going to change people's mindsets, and so it's going to be hard to figure out. But I'm you know, I've been very lucky in the past, and I usually just walk through any door that opens, and so that's what I plan on doing. That's how I'm going to go forward, and we'll see what the future brings.
Because you have great energy, so that's like a magnet to good people. Good attracts good.
Oh.
Doors are open, you walk through them. This is your normal way of life, and why would that change? I think you're going to be okay, but I have thought about people just like you. I have a Playmate girlfriend who's so social just like you. She has to go out so much. She has to get out. She's going crazy right now. Just like you are.
Yeah, right.
I am more of a homebody. I'm okay. I'm pretty okay.
Oh,
actually.
I'm okay either way, quite frankly. Listen, I'm fine being at home. I love being with my husband, obviously, and I mean, you know, I'm a Gemini, so my dual personality, this works perfectly. I mean, I could be out, you know, until like 3:00 in the morning, or I could be home with my fuzzy slippers on, you know, watching Netflix. I mean, either one of those situations makes me insanely happy. So I have no qualms about this happening. It's just curious that the uncertainty is what is bothersome, because you know, before you could make plans, and now you can't make any plans. I mean, because
I just looked up your birthday. Mine's the 28th of May. You're May 26th.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You had a birthday recently.
Yeah.
Well,
when's your birthday, Barbara?
Birthday.
Thank you.
21st.
When's your birthday? Oh, what sign is that?
Oh, that's Leo.
Oh, my God, Leo the lion. Oh, you're a tough little thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good sign. Very good. Very strong sun sign. Yep, I love all that. I used to be really up on the sun signs and read all about it, but I've kind of gotten away from it. But it holds true,
your
though.
Voice. You perked up when we talked about how we have psychics on. We have Monday and Friday, and so, I would love for you to call in and get a reading. We do complimentary readings for people.
Oh my God, I'd be afraid to get a reading right now.
On the air.
No, I don't think I want to know right now. I have to have more time to ponder my future.
Right.
But
now,
thank you. I would like to listen though. How do you listen to your show?
It's through Blog Talk Radio. You can find it there, and we also have a YouTube channel, Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube, where we have over 300, probably pushing 400 shows there right now, where your show is going to be right on top tonight.
Oh, that's great.
We might as well do a little shout-out. Yes, let's do a little shout-out.
Well, I'll have to share it. For sure, I'll have to.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to make you a great, beautiful promo ad. I was going through your photos and trying to choose a photo to use, but if you have a certain one that you want me to use, you can send me.
You pick. That would be great. I would love it. That sounds fabulous. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Well, you know, I have a YouTube channel, too. It's called Candid Candace TV, and I've got about 100 celebrity interviews there with people like Aretha Franklin and Christian Bale. And
how many followers do you have?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it lately, but I don't know. Probably not a lot, but I have lots of hits on it. I've got probably about 400,000 hits on it.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Candid Candace TV, everybody, and that's her YouTube channel.
I mean, Al Pacino and Christopher Walken. I mean, there's a lot of great celebrity interviews.
You've got some great people, and that is so wonderful, you know, working for the big, huge Chicago Tribune and all the people you've met through Playboy and just all your acting and your modeling. It's a wealth of wonderful people, and your life. It is amazing.
Oh,
we
thank you, Barbara.
Or have you already?
Oh, I've been asked about that, but, you know, I have a memory that's about as long as my little finger, so until somebody can help me with it, I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. Never say never.
What did you say the
never say
name
never.
of the channel was?
Pardon me?
Candid Candace TV. Candid
Candace TV.
Candid
YouTube. Candid Candace TV on YouTube.
Okay, everybody, all the listeners, check that out. Candace
Jordan.
Jordan.
Thank you. Well, there's a lot of avenues. Listen, I think they can find you and I just about anywhere, Barbara.
I know. They can.
Right?
So we don't even need a shout out. They just need to know our name and they can find us. And when people say, hey, well, Barbara, I've been trying to look for you. Oh, my gosh, my email address is on every single one of my social media platforms. So what? You can't get a hold of me? No, you can't.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, you never know. A lot of clever little people out there.
I have a few more questions, Candace.
Yeah.
I have a few more questions. Okay. So you have so much longevity and you stay in amazing shape. And, gosh, can you imagine if Playboy called you to redo the cover and then you weren't ready for it? So you've always, I don't know if you stay in shape on purpose because you never know, or because you're healthy, or that's your lifestyle. What do you do?
It's genetic, and I take fairly good care of myself, not as good as I should. And, when the call came for the equality issue to be shot, I got an email, and we were in Dollywood, my husband and I was eating my way through all those fast food stands in Dollywood when I got this call from Playboy that we're going to be shooting this 12-page pictorial in 2 weeks. So, the crash diet went into effect full force. I was having a raisin for dinner every night and working out like a demon. But I got down to, I felt really confident when I got out there. So I don't take as good a care of myself as I should, but I use common sense. So let's put it that way. And I have a beautiful gym in our building that I work out. So I work out on, when it's open. I used to work out like 3 or 4 times a week. So I take pretty good care of myself.
So
how about you? What's your beauty? What's your beauty regimen?
I love lifting weights, and like I said, I practice nightly in my living room. I move everything over and I dance until I'm sweaty. And I love lifting weights. Lifting weights is my thing. And then yoga, but I love
lifting weights is mine too. It's the most important exercise to do if you're going to do anything. And I love lifting weights. It makes such a quick difference.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you're right up. I agree with you.
It changes my body so much, and yoga, but I don't do yoga. I can do it by myself, but I just am not inspired to do it by myself in my living room. So I have to wait till the yoga studios open again, and I can't wait. I'm really missing that in my life. But tell me about the weightlifting. I just love it. But
I love it, and you're right. It changes your whole body. Changes your whole body. I mean, you don't, and it's not that hard to do. I mean, if you have to pick one exercise, that's what you should be doing is weights. There's no question. Very smart.
And why is that? Because it burns the fat, just the muscle.
It just. I don't know. I'm not
It replaces the fat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it just tones you. It tones you. It shapes you, and it's my favorite form of exercise. So we're sisters in that respect.
We have a lot in common. I think we do have a lot in common, Candace, because
I
of
do
longevity,
too, for sure.
And we're still modeling.
Yeah, here we are. We're still here.
When I quit, that will be when somebody doesn't want me in front of their camera, and I'm not seeing that happening yet.
No, me neither. So far, so good. Knock on wood.
Yeah, so far, so good. Wow. Well, what about spirituality? That is my last question, unless Johnny has more questions. That's what I end with. How do you stay healthy inside your soul and heart? Besides just having the best life ever, I mean, it's a given. But
I believe in God. I was baptized Episcopalian when I was little, and the only reason that I was baptized Episcopalian is because my aunt had money, and she told my father that if he didn't baptize me Episcopalian, I would be left out of the will. So I was raised to the church and baptized as an Episcopalian. I did not go to church. I was not a regular churchgoer. I do believe in God, though, and I believe in a higher power. And I think that there's something much greater than all of us that, is there. And it gives you a lot of peace. So, when things are rough or frustrating, I always look to God, and I pray. I pray every night. I'm not in the church, but I have the church in me.
Right. No, that's how I am. I mean, I used to, but you can do it anywhere. So that is wonderful. That is nice. So that's how she does it, everybody. This life of yours, I can't get over it. I mean,
listen,
wow.
Barbara, thank you so much for having me. You and Johnny, I really appreciate it. I thank him for reaching out. And now we will never be out of touch, Barbara, now that I know how to find you.
I'm curious.
I know, we won't be.
No.
I'm wondering if you could help me find that playmate that also does ballroom dancing. Can you
I
talk
already know her. We've already found her.
Yeah, she knows her.
Johnny, it's fine. I already looked her up, and I'm like, okay, because I wasn't sure what centerfold she did, and I'm like, of course. Oh, she was super
Oh, she's iconic.
Patty.
But anyway, I love talking to you, too. And do you have any more questions for me?
I don't, but does Johnny? I mean, the hour is up, Johnny. It's now or never.
I can't think of anything, but I mean, I will say this.
I think we covered everything.
I think we covered everything. I mean, I think we covered everything.
Okay. Well, let's close the show. We'd like to do the shout-out really quickly, even though we pretty much did it. Okay, you guys, how you find Candace Jordan, Playboy Playmate, Miss December 1979, is...
Thanks for...
Candid Candace, across the board, really, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, across the board, and you can find her. So, and you will be able to find this show and all of our other shows in about 30 minutes on our Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube channel. So please do and subscribe while you're there. We appreciate your support, and I'm going to send you an invite to the Playboy Playmate group page right now, Candace, and I'm so glad that we finally got you on the show, and what an amazing life you led, and I mean, we are just, tickled pink, because Johnny gave me a list of people, and I go, Candace, the famous woman, I want Candace, get her next. Yeah.
Listen, I am very honored, and I love talking to you both, so thank you for having me on. Lots of continued success.
Have a wonderful,
all right.
Have a wonderful reunion, and maybe
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Candace. Bye-bye.
Bye, Barbara. Goodbye.
Bye.